The fighting game landscape for the Nintendo Switch 2 is shaping up to be a lot more feature complete than it ever was for the original Nintendo Switch. There's a lot to look forward to in the coming months and even going into 2027. We don't have everything that we want, but let's keep in mind games take time to make. Unless you're Capcom, in which case you could drop back-to-back AAA games on the Switch 2 in like a month, but other companies are not so optimized, and so we need to be a little bit more patient with them like Tenzin was with Korra.
Don't bring my mother into this.
So if you're someone from the outside looking into the Nintendo hotel, maybe you feel a little bit betrayed because Gay Station did the thing where they killed the physical media. Or maybe you're an Xbox player and you're mad because a Hindu goddess just fired everybody at Xbox. Whatever the case may be, if you're an FGC player and you want to make Nintendo your home, there are plenty of fighting games already available and even more to come. So let's go down the list. Obviously, the big one on Nintendo is Super Smash Bros. Everybody knows that, and it's been out a long time already, so I'm not even gonna touch that. Plus, that game needs a rollback update real bad. I mean, if Nickelodeon All-Stars can do it, then I know Nintendo could do it. By the way, if you're like me and you can't wait to play some Avatar again, Nick All-Stars 2 has a few Avatar characters, so yeah, just a pro tip. So let me just give you a super quick rundown of the fighting games that are available on the original Nintendo Switch before we talk about the Switch 2 only versions, or versions that were released on both. So when we talk about old fighting games that are playable on the old Switch, we got stuff like Dragon Ball FighterZ, BlazBlue, DNF Duel, Melty Blood Type Lumina, the Nickelodeon Smash games, Mortal Kombat 1, 11, Under Night, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, Marvel vs. Capcom. You know, obviously I'm not going to go through the entire list. There's a lot to choose from, including smaller indie fighting games like Pocket Bravery and Blazing Strike, but the thing that always bothered me about fighting games on the old Nintendo Switch was obviously the system was very underpowered, so a lot of games just couldn't keep up with the PS4 or PS5 versions. And so either the games on the Switch either did not get rollback netcode like DBFZ and DNF Duel, or they did get rollback netcode, but they were left out of crossplay, like Guilty Gear Strive. As a result, the player pool for these games dried up pretty quick, minus some exceptions like DBFZ and Mortal Kombat, which have always had consistent players, just nowhere near as big as on the other consoles. But with the Nintendo Switch 2, we're getting a new breed of fighting games. These are no hand-me-downs anymore. These are the same games running on Switch 2 the way that they run on the other consoles, with full rollback and cross-play ability, at least for the ones that feature crossplay. First, let me tell you about some of the games that are available right now, and then about some of the ones that will be coming later. Right now, we've got games like Street Fighter 6, full crossplay and rollback. The graphics are pretty much the same and actually even better than on the Series S. Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, again, it's got full crossplay and rollback. Same thing with the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, both of which are also available on the old Switch. I'm talking about Mortal Kombat Legacy and Sparking Zero. Those two are also available on the old Switch and on the Switch 2. However, Sparking Zero does run at 30 frames per second on the Switch and Switch 2. Yes, Sparking Zero is on the old Switch. I've got reviews for that, and I probably ran some comparison shots in the video as well, so you can see what it looks like. For you wrestling fans out there, we also have WWE 2K25 and 2K26. 2K25 is pretty much a perfect port. 2K26 had some issues when it launched on the Switch 2, but those issues were pretty much fixed within a few weeks' time. I'm still not a fan of that ring pass, to be honest, but they did make some improvements to it. I still say go with 2K25 just because of the ring pass, but if that doesn't bother you, then 2K26 should tide you over until we get 2K27. Unfortunately, there is no word on whether that new UFC game is going to be coming over. I would love to see that on the Switch too, but it is what it is. If you have the second tier of Nintendo Switch Online, then you could also play Soul Calibur 2 on the GameCube emulator. That's the one where Link from Legend of Zelda is a playable character. Now for some games that are coming and some that I hope are coming, and I'm going to start it off with the game that I'm going to be spending a lot of time with, and that is Avatar Legends, the fighting game. This is how much I want to play Avatar. I just bought a big ass 50-inch 4K television just to play Avatar Legends. Okay, just to play Avatar Legends on my Switch too. I'm also rewatching the entire Korra series right now, but I think I might have done too much. Anyway, I played the Avatar beta the other week on Steam and it just cemented my desire to play the game even more. I'll be buying the deluxe edition on the Switch too, and I'm also going to be making a lot of guides and combo tutorials for Korra and Toph. I've already got a couple on the channel, so you can check those out. Avatar comes out on Switch and Switch 2 in 8 days from now on the 23rd. Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising and Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles 2 are both coming natively to the Nintendo Switch 2. Demon Slayer Hinokami 2 is already on the old Switch, but it runs at 30 frames per second and it's stuck to the old Switch's abysmal network, which made the game just very bad online. I love the gameplay, don't get me wrong, I love the way this game plays. I really like the gameplay in Hinokami. To me, it's probably my favorite arena brawler since the original Tenkaichi games, honestly. I don't really mess with arena brawlers that much. I never liked the Naruto ones, but Demon Slayer was really good. That online though was not. I'm hoping the Switch 2 edition fixes that, and I'm also wondering what they're gonna do about the final characters, because without spoilers, there are still 2 major characters that they gotta add, and one more potential Tanjiro variation that they might add, but I can't say that without spoilers. Oh yeah, another Muzan is going to be necessary, obviously. I wonder if they go the route of making Hinokami Chronicles 3 or if they just add these characters to Hinokami 2. Well, I guess we'll see. Melty Blood Twilumina comes out in early 2027. What is that, I hear you ask? Well, you can consider Melty Blood Twilumina to be like the 2.0 update for Type Lumina. It's not a sequel per se, but it is a substantial update, kind of like what Guilty Gear Strive got earlier this year, and what Granblue Rising is going to get in a few months. Twilumina will feature new characters and balance adjustments, among other things. The thing that will decide for me whether I buy it or not is going to be if it has crossplay. I need to be able to just queue up online and find a match in a minute or a couple minutes and just play for as long as I want. I don't want to have to go to Discord and ask if anybody has time to play and then wait for them to be available. You know, I got things to do. You know, I can't do that. I wish I could, but Melty Blood has always been a niche fighting game series. They call it a Discord game because historically you have to go to places like Discord to find people to play because the lobbies are usually dead. It's not like Street Fighter 6 where there's thousands of people online at any given time. But if you give a game like this crossplay, I could see myself spending some time with it because Type Lumina has some pretty good fast-paced gameplay and it's very fun to play. Mindara, a Fighter's Nova, is actually a really cool looking game. The developer reached out to me by email a while back with a prototype build of the game before the demo became available for everyone, and I wanted to make a video on it, but the problem was my computer was having issues and I wasn't able to run it properly. I couldn't run any game on this laptop actually, but I got that sorted out recently. And so I went back to check this game out, and dude, this is obviously still a work in progress, but the concept of this game is really good. It's basically an RPG game with fighting game mechanics. I don't think I've ever seen something like this before. The cutscenes are also really cool. They look like manga panels. This is me running around in the world, and then you can trigger a fight with an enemy where it turns into a 2D fighting game. You got combos, assist combos. Like, the game looks pretty cool so far, and the only way that it's playable right now, I believe, is on Steam. That's how I'm playing it. That's how I was playing it, but it will be coming out to other consoles, including the Nintendo Switch 2. It is a Kickstarter funded game. They've already met their goals, but there are some extra stretch goals, which include a versus online mode with rollback crossplay. I mean, oh my, I can't believe I said that. With rollback netcode. So far, it's looking really cool, and I hope it all goes well for them. Tekken 8 is still nowhere to be found on the Switch 2. Hurry up, Bandai. Although if you have to play Tekken, the original Tekken just got released on the Nintendo Switch 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I mean, it's only 32 years old, but it is Tekken, so like, can you really complain? Now, the biggest fighting game on the horizon is probably Marvel Tokon Fighting, whatever it's called. What is it with fighting games nowadays having horrible names? Marvel Tokon is a horrible name. If it's between Marvel Tokon and Avatar, I'm picking Avatar 100% of the time. But Marvel Tokon is interesting because it's a Sony and PC exclusive. It's not coming to Xbox and it's not coming to Nintendo Switch 2. So why am I talking about it? I don't know. I'm SwitchPlayed, done.